used and borrowed and adapted for the tabla. In fact, there are many compositions that have still not been figured out, that how can that technique be applied to tabla. So many compositions that no one's able to play yet. In general, the tabla is tuned to whoever it's accompanying. So in this case, I had a discussion with him last week that he'll be playing in D. So I have to bring the tabla that is suitable for his instrument. I can't just show up with my favorite one. So that tone is the tonic, or the sa, as we call it in Indian music. So his instrument resonates optimally on D. So that's the instrument you have to bring. Tabla specifically is this drum. The right drum is called the tabla. Even though we call the whole thing tabla or pair of tabla, this is the baya. Baya means left hand. Now I know that there are some left-handed drummers and this is on the other side, but still this is generally called the baya, and it produces a bass sound. So basically two sounds on this instrument, bass and no bass. That's it. So everything that has to happen on that hand is a variation of that. So you can apply different amounts of pressure. You can slide. So as he was demonstrating on his instrument, the slide, those same techniques are applied on the tabla, on the baya. Notes that modulate. So this is because in Indian music we tend to emulate the vocal. All instruments try to bring out the vocal quality of a composition. So even the drums are very vocal. That's why we try to express it in this way. There is a language associated with tabla, so further to the vocal, that each sound that is made has a corresponding syllable. So, ta, tin, tun, ti, ta. So these sounds are put together to make words, and then make phrases, and then make sentences, and make compositions. So when learning the tabla, that's the first thing you need to learn, is the alphabet of the tabla. So when you're being taught at a certain point, you don't actually need your drums with you. Your teacher can say, oh yeah, that composition goes da 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 da, and I'll know that means. So these alphabets are put together to create these words, create these phrases. So that is the world of tabla. He played a very good sample of different rhythmic cycles. We played 16 beats, we played 6 beats, we played 14 beats, we played 12. So I'm very happy he did that. So the first thing I want to try with everyone is just a rhythmic exercise. So let's do 6 beats. Okay, 6 beats is very easy. 3 beats and 3 beats. So we will clap like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 2 parts. There's a clap and there's a wave. That shows the division of the cycle, the half point. I'll get into that later. So I'll play the rhythm cycle, you clap and wave, and try to connect what you're hearing with what you're doing, okay? So 4, 5, 6. So, tonally, what's happening is there's a part that has the bass, it has both drums, and there's a part where the bass drops out. And when you wave your hand, that's that same section. So you feel the weight of the downbeat, and then you feel the emptiness of the backbeat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So even the tabla player, sometimes you'll notice in a performance, his whole body is kind of even showing that. For the instrumentalist, for the vocalist, for the audience, for himself, because you feel that beat. It doesn't become counting anymore. You feel the groove of that beat. So let's try that again. Think about the sound. Let's go a little faster. So 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. So that's how you play with the rhythm cycle. That's how improvisation happens. You can see the body gets into it, the face makes contortions, and you play with that ebb and flow of the cycle. Okay, let's go up to 7 beats now. So 6 beats was nice and even. 7 beats is odd. So many people feel uneasy. So the point is to feel as comfortable in an odd rhythm as you do it in an even rhythm. So this one is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? Let's try that together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so there's a light section and a heavy section. And the light one kind of lingers longer than you expect. It hangs there. Okay? So find the way to get comfortable in any rhythm cycle. Next thing you know, you won't be counting it. Where's that one? Where's that one? You know how your body is supposed to move at that moment. So when your guru is teaching you, this is a part of the learning is not just what's happening here. What's happening with his body? How is his back? How is his shoulder? All that movement, it gets transferred to you. And that's how you learn the tal. Tal means rhythm cycle. So any 6 beat, 7 beat, 9 beat, 10 beat, 12 beat, whatever, these are all different tals. And tal, I used to think, I just learned this, I used to think tal meant that clap. That's tal. But it was told to me that tal is actually a lake. Like the word tal means lake, like Naini Tal. So a lake is always contained. There are no open ends. It's a body of water, right? So it's contained. And all of them have a different shape. It might be long, it might be short here, it might be really round, but they're all contained, and each one is unique. So these rhythm cycles are like that. They have odd shapes. They can have 3 and then 4, or they can have 2 and then 3, or they can just be 4, 4, 4, 4, nice and easy, nice and round. So each one of these shapes has to be like a map in your mind. And that's how, when we are improvising, you could see that he was playing so many notes per beat, 16 notes per beat, 32 notes per beat. So how do you keep track? It's obviously not counting. It's feeling that this is my section of 3, and this is my section of 4. And finding your way within that. And I guarantee you, on my part at least, there were tons of mistakes. Tons of mistakes. But you have to be able to, okay, I made a mistake here, I'm going to jump ahead because I know where to fix it later. Those adjustments have to be made. You make it on the fly and you fix it in a way that is unnoticeable to anyone. Or the other thing that the masters say, if you make a mistake, do it again. Then it's not a mistake. Tabla also is a North Indian instrument. Sitar is from North India, tabla is from North India. But there's a lot of debate as to where it came and how it came to India. Some say that it came with the Mughals that invaded, and some say that it was part of some of the indigenous instruments that got refined along the way. Some say, oh, a bolt of lightning struck a pakawaj into two pieces, and boom, the tabla was invented. Well, so there's lots of legendary theories, there's lots of logical theories, but I think in general, what was happening was they had these big, huge drums that were used to sound an attack or a march or a procession. And as those needs declined, those drums became more and more refined into the form that we see today. And tabla is, as I said, about 300 years old. It started in Delhi, in India. And there are different houses or gharanas or schools of thought as to how the tabla should be played. So there are basically 6 styles. There's Delhi, which is the oldest. Then Ajrada, Farrukhabad, Banaras, Punjab, I think I got them all, Lucknow. So from Delhi, it started with, as it was brand new, tabla is a new entity, and they experimented with using just 2 fingers. So all the phrases were dhati, dhatete, dhagena. So all this variation two-finger compositions. And that was the specialty of Delhi. So when you see a tabla player who focuses on that, even today, you can tell immediately, that's likely a player that was trained there, or follows that style. From there it moved to Ajrada, and they added the 3rd finger. So now you have ta, ti, and ne. You have this possibility. So that gave rise to so much new language in tabla. Suddenly we had this new tone. So many compositions, bloomed from that, from Ajrada. And when you see those tabla players, you can say where he's from. Lucknow, on the other hand, is a very close tie to dance. Tabla players used to accompany dancers. So their style of playing is much different. They have to play very loud. They have to use their whole hand, and they have to beat it very, I shouldn't say beat it, but play it very aggressively. Because if a dancer is dancing with bells on her ankles, you have to be above that volume, and there's no microphones. So they're very strong tabla players. From Lucknow, that style of playing went to Banaras. Banaras also carried on that very aggressive, open style of playing. The only one that is sort of an outlier is Punjab, which is where the school that I learned from, Punjab Gharana. So that is very closely adhered to the Pakhavaj, which I mentioned is about 2,000 years old. That relation to the Pakhavaj has remained very intact, which has both the finger usage as well as the hand. I'll play a qaida. So this is a kind of composition when you're first learning tabla, very basic phrases, and the idea of how to make variations. I'll play a simple version that I teach to my beginner students, but you can see that there's a lot of depth there, so even if it's beginner material, you'll always find something new. So it's set in 16 beats. If you want, you can keep the clap. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so if I sped that up a bit, the groove of that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if you want to keep that with me, ke te te kita, ge te te, ge na na, ge na. Beginner thing to do, and at no time are both hands playing at the same time. It's always one hand or the other. In this case, beginner thing that within 1 week or 2 weeks, they should be able to start playing at that speed. And from there, you're able to build it. The possibilities are endless. So another more involved kaida now. I'll say it first. Da tete, kida da tete, da tete, dage, dinna, keda. Da tete, kida da tete, da tete, dage, dinna, gena.